Well, this is a really busy week here at the Lucky 3 Ranch. We've got some really great people here with us today, and the first person I'd like to welcome is Joanne Lang, our equine masseuse. She's been working on my mule, Lucky 3 Sundowner, for years. He was the 1984 World Champion reining mule, and then champion third level dressage mule in 92 and 93 out at the Bishop Mule Days in Bishop, California. And Joanne, I'd just like to welcome you here today and say thanks a lot for making all this possible for Sonny.
Well, Meredith, thank you, and thanks so much for having me on your beautiful farm. It's just lovely out here. And I just can't get over how good Sonny's doing. For as sore as he was when I first met him, from all his hard training and preparing for him to be the athlete that he is. And he went through an awful lot. His body, he worked very hard, and he really needed some massage to help him through that. And I was glad that I was here to be able to do that.
Well, it certainly made all the difference, and I think, it's really important, I think, that people know that massage plays an integral part in the care and maintenance of your animal, regardless of whether you're going to be showing them or not. If they're comfortable in their work, they're going to do better for you and perform better, and it might even keep you a little more relaxed.
I think you're right, Meredith, and it's true. A lot of people don't realize the weaknesses of their animals, and they don't realize the strengths of their animals. And massage is one of the tools that you can use to help you look at your animal in a different way and start to understand your animal through its body and through its muscle tissue. And when you really start to begin to understand that muscle tissue and that body, then you can really start making major jumps in your athletic performance. Whether you have an animal that's very strong and very good at their athletic performance, or an animal that's just starting out, or an animal that you're having a very difficult time getting on a lead, or having a hard time getting their head up or getting their head down. Massage therapy is a great tool to use to have you look at the animal from a different angle.
Yeah, I think so. And it really doesn't have to be complicated. There are various levels of massage, and there are the bottom level that the owner can learn to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I really encourage owners to get a basic introduction type of massage that they can do to their own animals, and that will help them, again, look at their animals through different eyes. I call it through their therapeutic eyes, and it'll help them understand where their animals' weaknesses are, where their animals' strengths are, and you can really make a big difference with just some basic massage therapy. You don't need a professional on your place on a regular basis to make a difference. Now, when you do have some major problems, then it really helps to have somebody that's trained. And when I say trained, I'd like to see somebody with at least 500 hours of massage training behind them. That's very important. If they're a professional, they better have some hours behind them for massage. Otherwise, you're just paying somebody who went to a week-long seminar, and you're not really getting the results that could be made with that.
Don't you think it's important that when you hire a masseuse for your equine, that masseuse has some background in equines?
Oh, absolutely, Meredith. I think you're right. A lot of times what will happen is if you bring on somebody on your place that doesn't really understand horses and doesn't really know how to work with horses, you're putting yourself liable for that person to be working on your animal. So if they get hurt, guess who's in trouble?
Right.
You, the owner. So that's very important. A good point.
Right. And when you're working on your animal, there are some signals that your animal is going to give you as to whether you're being effective or not, too. Isn't that true?
You are absolutely correct on that. And as you saw earlier when I was massaging Sonny, how much Sonny was responding to me, you could see by the look on his face whether he wanted me to go deeper, and you could see by his body language when he decided that he wanted me to lighten up. And he just basically moved away, and that was him telling me lighten up. And so you really have to learn to listen to the animal's body language and listen to the animal.
So that's a lot to learn, and if you're learning to key into your animal like that during massage, you key into it in every other aspect of your animal's life, when you're working, when you're showing, all those important things.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Colorful Colorado, with its majestic Rocky Mountains and wide open spaces, also boasts the Loveland Longyers Museum and Sculpture Park at the Lucky 3 Ranch, home of some of the finest mules and donkeys in the world. This working ranch is just 40 miles north of Denver. World-renowned authority on mules and donkeys, Meredith Hodges, invites you and your family for an adventure in learning you won't want to miss. Come visit the Lucky 3 Ranch, meet Meredith, her champion mules and donkeys, and take in the beauty of her long years art for the experience of a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. The key to leading your equine correctly is consistency. From the time you retrieve him from his pen until the time you put him away, leading should always be done exactly the same way. First, say your equine's name. Then give him the verbal command to walk on, glance down at his feet, and step forward. Always hold the lead rope in your left hand and ask him to keep his head at your shoulder. Always point in the direction of travel with your right hand. Make long, gradual arcs rather than abrupt turns. He will learn how to correctly bend his body through the rib cage as he follows the arc of the turns. If he charges ahead or gets into your space, just use your left hand to pull him back and your right hand to push his head back to your shoulder. Always stand in good posture yourself. Match your strides with his front legs and take the same size steps as he takes. And always remember to look where you're going. Every time you stop, make sure your feet come together in good posture. Then turn towards your equine and make sure he squares up with equal weight over all 4 feet. This will eventually become his natural way of stopping. You know you have finished flat work leading training when you can sling the lead rope over your equine's neck, and without you touching him, he will perform independently, keeping his head at your shoulder. Learning to lead correctly will get you both off on the right foot. Here's an engineer. How did you know that? So we go see a huge mule. Because this thing, you're fine. Stroke with the head, that's all you gotta do. Okay, come on, boys, let's go. Come on.
Every owner knows that a well taken care of equine is a happy equine. More and more, a technique being used to enhance our animals' overall conditioning is equine massage.
What you have to realize is you're training an animal in their muscle tissue, and their muscle tissue has to be able to perform the task that you're asking the animal to perform. If you're having a hard time doing the advanced things, you need to go back to the beginning. The massage helps break the pattern of the neurons that fire to that muscle, that tell it to contract, to contract, to contract.
With proper instruction, just about anyone can learn to give their equine the benefit of basic massage.
I've been working on equines for a long time, and a lot of people look at you and hope that you can just come out and make an animal better. And you can't do that. It takes 2 pieces, the massage as well as the exercise. And the exercise is actually more important than the massage. And that's something that people really have to understand. And Meredith's tapes do that. And a lot of people don't want to take that long a time frame. They just want to do their 60 days, get on the animal and ride them. But that's not really where you can go with their backs.
For more intensive therapeutic massage, be sure to consult a professional. Equine massage not only enhances your animal's health and overall condition, it's also a deeply personal and rewarding bonding experience for both of you.
Many of you who love your horses also love your dogs. This type of massage can be beneficial for all your pets. If you want to improve your animal's quality of life, I can help. I can either teach you how to do it, or I can massage your dogs for you. Contact me at dogmassage.com.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. When you ask your equine to square up, you're asking him to place all 4 feet in each corner of an imaginary square, like this. There are many advantages to having an equine that can square up at the halt, because that means he's putting equal weight over all 4 feet for ideal balance and good posture. This corrects bad posture, promotes core strength, and makes it easier for him to control his own body. Begin by asking your equine to whoa. Now stop and face his shoulder. Then hold the lead rope right where it's attached to the halter like you'd hold a video game joystick. Move his hind feet first. To do this, look to see which hind leg is forward. If it is the left hind leg, pull down slightly on the lead rope and lightly push it diagonally in the direction of the foot you wish to move. As soon as the foot starts moving backward, stop pushing when it's in line with the other hind foot, using a slight, sharp downward tug to stop the motion. Both hind feet should now be side by side. Once the hind feet are aligned, look to see what front foot is more forward. If it is the left front, then give a slight pull forward on the lead rope diagonally toward you. This should bring the right front foot forward and in line with the left front foot. Then, just stop the action and reward him while he's in the 4 square position. Each time you lightly tug downward, be sure to immediately release the tension on the lead rope after each tug. This is a lesson in very light cues. Practicing a balanced halt in good posture will give your equine a solid and comfortable foundation that will serve him well in executing the more difficult training activities to come.
Artwork inspired by mules and donkeys is quickly gaining popularity. Tennessee mule artist Bonnie Shields has the uncanny ability to capture the fun-loving nature of these free-spirited animals.
They were like a horse, but they weren't like a horse. They had a little different body. They used their body a different way. They certainly had a different mental attitude. So they started intriguing me as an artist, and I kept finding the differences between them and the horse, both physically and in their reaction to things. So that started my love affair with the mule. When you deal with the mule, you're not always in charge. So it takes a little bit of a different kind of personality to appreciate the mule and to work with her.
She was the only artist that could really capture the essence of mules and donkeys. Because mules and donkeys are really good teachers and teachers of life lessons. And Bonnie has just been an inspiration to me ever since. Wow, how'd it do?
Whoa. I know that all through the years, Meredith gives tours to the ranch. But what a wonderful addition to this whole ranch would be a sculpture park just for the mules and the donkeys. So I just thought it was an awesome idea. And then she let me be part of it. It's a wonderful thing. And when you come to visit the Lucky Three, it's just an added bonus. Mule people, you reckon I can get Meredith to make a tape on how to teach your mule to shovel snow? I sure gonna try. Wish me luck.
Just a wonderful human being, and working with her is always humorous. She is just funny as the day is long, and so I thought that she would be absolutely perfect as the illustrator for the Jasper series that I wanted to do.
The Daydreamers was inspired by a thing that I saw years ago. I heard about this family up in Kentucky. They'd been working tobacco out in the field with their mules. And one of the boys, he was laying across this mule's back, laying in the shade. They'd been working, and he was resting on the back of his mule in the shade. That just kind of stuck with me, and I thought, gee, a kid like that, you know, he thinks he's stuck on the farm. He thinks he's stuck doing all this terrible old work, and he's laying up there and he's daydreaming about getting away from it all. So that's where Daydreamer came from. Sculpture's not the only thing I do. Matter of fact, I got into sculpture maybe a little later in my career. Mostly, I was known for my pencil drawings and my acrylic paintings for many, many years.
Long ears art. It may be whimsical, like a cartoon, or it may simply be breathtaking. Long ears are taking their place in the world of art, and it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
And when I met Mare, when I walked through her barn, I noticed that all her mules were really, really strong and had really, really good backs and were in really, really good shape, except for Sonny. Sonny was very sore. And I walked through her barn. I think Mare was surprised when I said to her, you know, I can help that mule feel better. And I think she was surprised, A, that I recognized that the mule was sore, and that I had the nerve to say to her that I could make that mule feel better. And the main thing, and you can still subtly see it, and when I first met him, it was very extreme, was that this piece on him right through here was elevated. Now it looks so much better, but it basically roached up. Okay, and a lot of times when you're walking through somebody's barn, you can see, especially people who do reining, you can see your reiners who decide to just do the crash course a week long. We're going to get this horse to do the sliding stops real fast, because what you're going to see is this area roached quite badly. Same with dressage, jumping, actually kind of everything. If they do the crash course, and I had to tell you a little bit about Mare. Mare did not train this mule to do the sliding. This mule went away to do sliding. So Mare was not the trainer for this mule right here to get to that level. So not blaming it on Mare. And actually, a lot of times animals are really willing to do stuff. So again, the animals will be real willing to do things, so we start doing it, but we have to start having a soft eye and looking at the animal as a whole to see what we're doing to the animal. So the first thing you want to do is look at your line of your animal, okay? And so your top line of your animal is going to tell you a lot. So well, I shouldn't pick on horses, so I won't. A lot of times what you'll do, but I did look at all your horses when you came in, and I could say where they're sore. pretty much you can see in shoulders, if you have shoulder soreness, this area here gets sucked in real badly. Okay, so you'll have a real high withery looking animal. Okay, the neck will look real ewy. Okay, so that's something that you can look at. Now if you have that type of problem, you want to do some massage in that area. Now for you guys, you don't need to do real deep work to make a difference in animals. As you can see, I'm not doing much at all with Sonny, and he's responding quite well to me, you know. So one thing that you have to realize is a lot of people feel in order to make a difference, he's such a good subject, in order to make a difference you have to do really deep work, and that's really not true. In order to make a difference you need to know where to look, find your tight muscles and attack those tight muscles. Then you need to think, what am I doing to this animal to make those muscles tight, and how can I work this animal so I don't make these muscles tight. Okay, so it's a whole picture of what you're going to look at. So this guy right here has some tightness up in his shoulders, as you can see. He's not terrible though. Actually, I've seen animals that are incredibly sore in this area, and you can really see because it's really sucked in. Okay, and typically a lot of times when I go through a barn, I can go, oh, he's weak at the left, this one's weak here, and this one's weak here, because you can see what we've done to the bodies. So if your horse is real sunk in this area, this area here is this is the scapula here. You can work along, ooh, that's a good one, right up in there. You can work up into your scapula. Your scapula is a flat bone, okay, and it has a spine on it. So you can find that spine by running your hand across your animal's shoulders, and it'll feel like a big old lump, okay? And it is. And you can kind of work around that spine. And again, you don't have to work real hard. You can see that Sonny is feeling this, and it's feeling pretty darn good to him. And that Z is very jealous that he's getting the massage. So if your shoulders are tight, I tell people I work on animals in quarter panels, okay? You never just get to work one area. The quarter panel for a sore shoulder is from about here to here. So if you got a sore shoulder, this area here is compromised. That's a huge area, and you guys can tell if you're trying to do something with your animal, that's a huge animal, or a huge area to have compromised. So when your animal is sore in the shoulders, all this area is what you want to work on. And the thing that you want to be aware of is not to work too deep, because you really should have a lot of training to work deep. And even people with, I wouldn't trust people with a week-long training to work deep on my animal, okay? I would want somebody with at the very least 500 hours training and maybe more. And if they're not a horseman, I wouldn't let them near my animal, okay? Because there's, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of people out there. Star, you remember her, Starry, she was the one that goes by the stars. You don't want your animal getting that girl hurt, because it's you they sue. So that's something also to be aware of. So think about shoulders. When you're thinking about shoulders, you also can do some nice neck stuff. You can just kind of run along your spine and your neck, the cervical spine. You can see Sonny just kind of says, oh, that feels really good. And I can see where the main spot is. I can see where he wants me to stop and hold. Oh, okay, that's deep enough. And you can see too that I'm trained, I've been doing this since 1988. I started when I was 10, just in case you were wondering how old I was. And I've been doing this for a long time, so in order for me to work deep, I got to work up to it. I can't just decide to work deep. A lot of people really, I can't stress the deep tissue is dangerous unless you're trained. So, and I'm probably using a dime's pressure on him right now, so not very much. Not very much at all. So some other things that you can do, I can show you some range of motion stuff you can do with your animals, but I almost think that range of motion can get you in trouble. I am going to show you a few things, but if your animal fights with you, don't do them, okay? Because you can cause trouble. Now I'm working on brachiocephalicus. You can see that. He thinks this is like great stuff. And again, this is all part of my shoulder. This is all part of my shoulder. Even though it's attached to the neck, it ultimately attaches to the shoulder, either through the humerus or through the scapula, okay? So all this area here is going to affect how much he can reach forward. What a good boy. He makes me look good, doesn't he? What a good boy. Yeah, Sonny does love me.
Fixed him after that rain and stuff.
Yeah. He was pretty darn sore, and thank God Meredith has well-trained mules, because this guy could have clobbered me a few times.
We do kicking training too, to mellow out the animal's natural instincts. And the benefit of that was that when Joanne was working on him one time, she hit a sore spot on the hip, and he picked up his foot and he put it on her hip and he pushed her away. But with the kicking training that we do, it teaches them to stop, think, and then act.
Okay, so now I'm going to get in a little bit more. You can see how I'm getting behind his scapula. Okay, and you guys can do this if they let you in. He's letting me in. He's backing up a little bit, but he's pushing into me, so he's liking it. So I'm just watching him, and he's telling me what I can do. And again, it looks deep, but he's letting me in, so it's really not that deep. But you can see how this could really help a shoulder area. So that's some stuff. Now I'm going to show you just a little bit of range of motion you can do with your shoulder, but you got to be very careful that you don't hurt your animal, okay? Because if they're not used to it, you can tear some muscle tissue. Oh, I should show you one more thing before I move on. Real important with shoulder, get where your girth lies. This area right here, right behind, it's not bad on Sunny, but on B, when I hit this area, the one she was driving ahead, when I hit this area, B becomes unglued. It's so sore. And this is an area that if you have a hard time getting your animal to take a lead, go right through here and see how this feels, okay? It's intercostal muscles. You can see that he likes it. Intercostal muscles can be incredibly tender. I don't know if you've ever like worked around your rib cage, but if you just barely touch around your rib cage, whoo, it can be real sore real fast. So that's an area that can be really tender. So make sure you look at that area on your animal, especially if you're having a hard time with leads, okay? And I make sure, which I'm not going to push a lot of stretches with him because I don't feel that I did enough warming up with him to get a lot of stretches out of him. So, but I am going to show you just a few things and some safer positions you can get in, because I've watched people teach these and I thought, well, that's a good way to get yourself killed, okay? So, and also, I'm going to show you the 101 version, because it's better to start at the 101 version than to do the extended. So we work into the longer stuff, but for just some shoulder stuff, I'm going to just do what you guys do as far as Johnny,
Wake up.
Earth to Sunny. Thank you. Is start with just picking up your foot and then doing some round circles, small round circles, just kind of seeing how comfortable he is with this. And bring him back now. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Wait, no, I don't want you to do that. No. And then I'm, Now this is 101. He thinks that it's pawing time. No, it's not pawing time. He says it's pawing time. This is 101, right there. Good boy. See how he took it the rest of the way? Okay. So that's a safe thing you can do. Now, if you decide to do the one that Mare showed you earlier, that's great, except for a lot of times they gotta learn. And so this right here, Sonny, can I have it one more time? Thank you. Now you'll watch, he's a little bit more relaxed, and I can just hold that. And as they get more comfortable, you can go down. But notice that I'm staying in my line and I'm always ready to let go. Don't fight. They'll win every time. Okay, so there's some shoulder stuff you can do. Okay, another stretch is you can come back with the leg, and if you have somebody working with you, you can take the head this way just a hair and pick up the leg again. Thank you. Now that's going to stretch this area right here. And again, I'm ready to let go. And I'm not going to fight with them, okay? So that's some things you can do to your shoulders. Now we're going to go back and show you just a few things that you can do. Because this lump right here, now you're talking about this quarter pound. From here to here is your problem if you got this roach going on, all right? And this is a big, really muscled area, okay? You got a lot of muscle tissue. This is where deeper work through here is gonna help. But through here, he's gonna pick up his foot, put it on your hip and throw you off if you work too deep in this area here. Because here we got the intercostals, we have more costal muscles here. And we also have the spine. And the paraspinal muscles are very thick and very rope-like, okay, and very strong, okay? But they also can be very tender, okay? So you don't need a lot of pressure. So you can kind of just work this area. Now he is just so much better. When I first started working with this mule a long time ago, all I had to do was barely touch in here and his whole back would do that, okay? So that's something you can do. Just kind of take a look at your horses, run your hands along this area and see if they go, ugh. If they do that, you got some soreness. Just think about small circles, ocean wave type, dime pressure, not a heck of a lot of pressure. And you know what I tell people is start thinking about your eyeballs being at the end of your fingertips, okay? Because as you start working, like I can feel there's stuck tissue right here. Because I can feel it in my fingertips, okay? Good boy. Good boy, Sonny. Now, this area here, you want to work in small circles. You want to follow this whole line, okay? Again, I would say even if they're roached, I'd even go this far. But it's kind of like that. And into ribs are going to be tender. So you want to make sure you work, yeah, you want to make sure you work into ribs. Oh, what? See, you're going to tell me, huh? Yeah. And they'll do that often when you hit a spot. You'll see that often. He's so jealous. He used to get massages too. He's very jealous right now. This is when you can give a little bit more pressure because there's a lot of muscle tissue here. So this area here, you can see I'm working a whole lot deeper and you can see he's relaxing and actually he's pushing into me. So if I work on him, if I let go, you can see his body swing back towards me. So he's pushing into me, so he's telling me I can work. You can use elbows. I've worked on a reining horse where this was another reason why I don't teach people how to massage animals. I was working on a reining horse alone in a barn, and I have them on cross ties where I only tie half their face and I hold on to the other half of their, so I always can have control of their head, and the other half is tied to the cross tie. And his name was Digger, and Digger decided that my work was not deep enough. And Digger basically took his hip and went like this, boom, and shoved me smack into the wall and was going like this, trying to get me to work deeper. You know, he wasn't being mean at all, he just wanted deeper work. Well, I was going, Digger, Digger! Fortunately, I had hold of his head and I could get him out of there, but that was kind of a scary thing to be in. He decided, now he moved away. That means that pressure was a little too much, so I'm gonna lighten up. So you can work this area back here, and you can see he's responding to me. And actually it's pretty tender, I gotta lighten up. And he's kind of telling me, hurts so good, don't go any harder, is what he's telling me. So range of motion back here, this is where you really got to be careful. So if you do any range of motion, don't get yourself kicked, okay? Which most of this is going to be on your own animals. So you can pick up your leg. Good boy, and boy, he's letting me hold that leg. He's giving me all his weight. I mean, he's giving me that hip. You can see how it's dropped down on this side. And I'm slowly asking for him to stretch back. And I'm using my leg, because he's way too heavy for me, for some range of motion. And as he relaxes, you can really get a nice stretch out of him this way. You can bring the leg forward. I know he'll fight with me, so I'm not going to go there just because he's not ready. And that's about it. He's like, it feels pretty good. But again, I'm going to let him tell me when it's over. Good boy. So that's kind of what you can do with your animal. Do I have any questions?
Range of motion with the rear body.
Good. Yes, yes. Always, my range of motion is always in line with the animal's body. That's real important, and I'm glad you brought that up, Les. That's a good point. And I would go forward with him. Let's see if he'll let me. But again, and I stay out of his way. Good boy. Good boy. And as they relax, you can get a whole lot more out of them, but you don't push it. This is like a real condensed version of a massage. So, but yeah, absolutely keep everything in their line. And keep your horsemanship in your mind while you're doing it so you can get out of their way and never fight. He's had no chiropractic, just massage, is that correct?
Yeah. He won the world championship in 3rd level dressage working at 4th level too, but that was only because of the massage that she did. Because he was working in regular dressage shows and he started getting sore in the stifle, and that's when it kind of quit. But I wanted to take him to the world shows, so we went ahead and did some massage and work on him, and that's all we did was massage, no chiropractics, and he went back and won it 2 years in a row.
So just remember, if your animal is resisting, look at their body. And that's all I have to say. Thanks a lot.
Bring our horses back down and we'll finish our measurement.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Joanne. We really I just can't thank you enough. You have so much valuable information to offer. And we couldn't be happier to have you here. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Meredith, and I can't tell you how lucky I feel to be able to work with you.
Having problems? Need an accessible trainer? Whether you're just a weekend trail rider or showing, the principles of training are the same. You want a safe and reliable equine companion. Produced by Meredith Hodges, Training Mules and Donkeys, a logical approach to long ears, will help you build a good working relationship with your animal. Meredith reveals the secrets of successful maintenance and resistance-free training that can be implemented by anyone, resulting in a satisfying partnership between you and your equine. Meredith answers your training questions promptly via mail or phone. Her books are great general resources and her videos are detailed, outlining the day-to-day exercises needed to produce a versatile and dependable equine companion. Meredith's techniques work with all equines. Do you have children? Grandchildren? Check out Jasper, the story of a mule. For more information, check out our website at www.lucky3ranch.com or call 1-800-816-7566.
Mules are working their way into the hearts of people everywhere. If you'd like to know more about these wonderful long-eared animals, you can contact us at 1-800-816-7566 or get on our website at lucky3ranch.com.
Dusty old quilt hung crooked on a couch in an old stone house by a lazy river.